do I make this thing? You gonna use the bathroom? I need to get a new tripod. Tighten this. I think I broke my tripod. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's not broke. Gizmo. Gizmo. Come here. Stay out of that dirt. That's what I want you to do. Say hi to the people. Daddy ain't asleep. I can see he ain't got that door closed. How come I can't never see the chat? That's definitely not it. Oh, there it is. Moth Mama said, I'm trying not to cry in front of my kids right now. DMX is a legend in New York. I know he is. I, girl, I was literally trying not to cry when I got home from the DMV. I got my license back today. And I was so happy about getting my license that I didn't check my phone until I got home. But when I got home, I had told my husband, I said, I know eventually I'm going to open my phone and they're going to say that we lost DMX. And as soon as I opened the phone, that was what I saw. But last night, um, when his attorney made a statement that, he was still on life support, I knew it was bad. I knew um, when they said that the family was going to have to make a difficult decision that it was bad. I knew it was. If there is no brain activity, then, we all know that the person is no longer, you can't function if there's no brain activity. And they're not going to allow you to just remain on life support with no brain activity. They're just not going to do that. So I knew um, that he was gone. I knew he was. He was probably gone um, when this incident occurred because the brain can only go without, you know, oxygen for so long before it's irreversible. And we don't know how long DMX was down before they found him. And if you've already suffered a heart attack or, whatever, and your brain goes without oxygen, that's irreversible. You can't um, you can't fix that. So I knew. I really did. Oh my God. And this DMX passing, even though, I had a feeling that when they first announced um, he was in the hospital, I had a feeling he was gone then. But his death has hit me just like Aaliyah's. It's just, I mean, it's hard. Like, Especially me being like in my 50s, and it just seems like we are starting to lose, um, we losing some of the legends, you know, Aretha, Prince, DMX. Those are some, we have lost some heavy hitters, some real, real heavy hitters. And DMX, um, I've always loved him because it was my stepson that really, really introduced me to DMX. And my stepson was killed, um, tragically in, you know, um, gun violence. Someone shot him and my son survived. But it was, nights of me and my stepson listening to DMX. I think he gave me my first DMX album, because he was like, "No, I really think you gonna like this rapper because, you know, he know the Bible and he be praying on his albums and stuff." And I was like, "Huh?" And when I heard his prayer, I was like, "Yeah, it's something special about him. This young man is special. This young man has a gift." And I hope people can really look at him and separate what was going on in his life from his gift. Because we all are fighting something. We all fight something. People can look at me and be like, "Oh, well, she's fighting her weight or whatever." We all have something. So, his whatever demons he, was fighting will never overshadow his gift. For me. Gizmo, leave that dog alone. It will never overshadow his gift. He will always be extremely um, talented to me. And I don't look at, the wrong that people have done and judge them on that. Gizmo! Gizmo! Let me go get this dog, y'all. Come here. Get, get over there. I swear, I don't know why he keep going over there bothering that dog next door. And that dog is huge. That dog look like a snuffleupagus. And Gizmo just want to go over there and bother that dog. So, you know, my I just said he's at peace now. He is at rest. Whatever it was that was, bothering him or torturing him, or hurting him, he left that here. He is at rest now. And it's sad that he couldn't come to a place of healing, before he left here. Oh, I didn't know he was abused. I mean, I did hear how his um, introduction to drugs started. I heard that from a story that he told in an interview. So, we look at that situation, and we just say he is at peace now. He is at rest. And I'm glad that, you know, he is resting. This was God's design. God don't make no mistakes. God's will in this situation was done. It's not our will, because of course we will continue to pray that he stays here and he stays with us, but you it's that's selfish. Those prayers are selfish. No, you want to be able to get to the point where you pray that someone's hurt and pain is over. That's why the Bible say you pray, thy will be done. God's will be done, not ours. Because our will is selfish. We want people to stay here. We want people to stay here in this. We don't care how miserable the person is, how much they're hurting. We just want you to stay here with us. And that's selfish. You should look at a person and want them to go home and be with God, where they can be happy and be away from pain. That's when you really know that you have gotten to a point of enlightenment where you can look at a loved one or you can look at someone and want them to transition because you want them to be with the maker. You want them to be with their creator where they can be happy, go back to a point of happiness. A lot of people are not happy here. They're not happy on earth. All of our souls are not meant to be here for long periods of time because we get here and we're not happy. It's too much, it's too much stimulus for a lot of us. It's too much going on and we're just not happy. And the best thing for us to do is go back to source where we will be happy, where all of this stimulation, overstimulation, too many colors, too many noises. That's why a lot of children who have autism, you know, they're overstimulated. This world is too much for them. And this world at one point was not this busy. They get here and it's too much going on. It's just, it's just noise. Just like, okay, the neighbor just came out and started working on his yard when I came out here. But I can't go over there and tell them to shut the hell up. But it's too much going on. There's too many noises. There's too many colors. There's too many shapes. There's too many this. There's too many people. It's too many animals. It's too many birds in the sky. And, some children just get overstimulated. And those overstimulated children become overstimulated adults. Just because you're old doesn't mean that you have adjusted to this world. Everybody don't adjust to this world. We just don't. And we're not doing the things to help us adjust to this world. We're not keeping our head covered. We're not praying like we should. We're not cutting the TV off. We're not cutting off our phones. We're not disconnecting. We're not grounding ourselves. So we're flighty. We're all over the place. We're overstimulated. We're not, protected. We don't have on any, of our protective colors or anything. The Orishas are like, well, I don't know you. You don't never wear white. You always got on black. You always got on the colors that you probably not even supposed to be wearing. You don't know what colors you're not supposed to be wearing because you haven't had a reading. You're not talking to your ancestors. You're not protected. You're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. So you're flighty. You all over the place. You're confused. And then a lot of you young people, you don't want to take direction from your elders. You don't respect your elders. So half of your elders, your family ain't even talking to you. So you just all over the place. You just lost. You don't have nobody to talk to. You don't have nobody to go to when things get tough. And then you feel like the creator ain't talking to you because you feel like you don't have a connection there. You've lost your connection to source. So you messed up. You are really messed up. And so then you turn to things that you think are going to numb that pain and frustration and anger, which is alcohol or, drugs. And actually, that doesn't do anything but make things worse. That's not going to help you. It will numb you for a little while. Gizmo! 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 I know you hear me. It'll numb you for a little while. But after a while, you go right back to, after you come down or sober up or whatever, you will go right back to how you how you were feeling, because that's not that's not a permanent solution. Your solution is getting close to God, close to your ancestors, talking to your elders, building your community. That's your solution. Your solution is really having someone to talk to, knowing what your purpose is. Do you love plants? Do you love to grow things? Do you want to touch something? I'm one of those people. I have to constantly be touching something. I love to grow plants. I told you guys that I come from a family of sharecroppers. My ancestors were gardeners. They were sharecroppers. They were farmers. So that's part of who I am. I love to plant things. I love to grow things. I love to make things. And if I'm not doing that, then I get bored and, my mind gets idle. And that's when I start to, think about weird stuff like, oh, I'm too fat, or my hair is too short, or I look funny today, or, I'm just not feeling this whole world because I'm distracted, because I'm not doing anything purposeful. So you have to find those things that make you happy. Find out, what distracts you from this world. Get away from people. Turn off social media. Turn off your Facebook and Instagram and, all of these other social media sites, and just spend some time with yourself. Read a book. Find a hobby. I've been crocheting for 2 days. I'm making a shirt, a little top, and all I got to do now is um, sew it together. I'm actually finished. I finished crocheting, so all I got to do is sew the two panels together, and I'll be finished. I've been working on that for 2 straight days, 2 or 3 days, maybe 3 days. Find something to keep you busy. And I'm not saying that, DMX didn't have things that kept him busy, because it looked like he grew orchids. I saw a video of him like taking care of orchids, so it looked like he grew orchids. But maybe he just didn't, have enough. Obviously, something was going on, because, he just didn't really seem happy. So he is at peace now, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he is at peace. He is one of the ancestors now. And, he has this period of time where he can settle some things here on earth before he makes his final transition. You know, we have to look at that like he has transitioned on. He's not gone. He's just gone from this physical plane. Yeah, he really needed somebody to help him process his trauma, whatever his trauma was. And that little stint on Iyanla's Fix My Life, like, of course, you can't fix nobody's life in 2 or 3 days, especially if it's deep-seated trauma. I can't tell y'all how many times I done been to therapy. I have been in therapy off and on since I was in my early 30s. And the last time I went was when my mother passed in 2011. And I did a whole year of grief therapy. So my last time in therapy was in 2012. 2012, I was in therapy. And luckily, I haven't felt like I have needed therapy since then. But if I do, I don't have no problem going. Some people have a tendency to look at therapy like, oh, well, I don't want to tell someone else my problems. Like, especially in the black community, we got to get out of that. We have to get out of that because we need to, heal that trauma. There's a lot of trauma in the African American community for men and women. A lot. I see a lot of children, black children, who are so upset with their parents. But sometimes I look at my kids now and I have to tell my kids I wasn't perfect. When I was raising y'all, I had y'all at 21 and 22 years old. I was still young. I was a wife, a mother. I was still, when I really look back on that, I was still a baby myself. I was still trying to figure myself out. And then, my kids were really young when I got a divorce. I was trying to figure that out. I was a single mother. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes, you know? But I'm not going to let my kids guilt trip me into holding any of the stuff that I may have did that may have hurt them. Yeah, if I did something to hurt you, I'm going to acknowledge that, but you're not going to make me feel guilty because I was young and I was growing and I was learning too. We was all learning and growing together. Now they are in a position where I am. They are young parents. They're in their 30s with children. You're making mistakes just like I did. But I'm not going to ever allow anybody to make me feel guilty for mistakes that may have made when I was in my 20s and 30s. Of course, I'm a different person now. I'm 56 years old. So, yeah, I should be more mature and, have a totally different outlook on life than I did when I was in my 20s or 30s because I've grown. But yeah, there is a lot of trauma in the black community, and a lot of us won't allow anybody to help us. And if you don't allow anybody to help you, you can't grow because you can't heal yourself. You either have to be reading some books, you have to want to heal. And if you don't want to heal, you're not. And I know sometimes men get that feeling like, they're macho and they can take care of themselves. But no, y'all need help too. Y'all hurt and cry just like we do. Women may be a little bit more emotional than men, but men have emotions. Y'all have feelings. You hurt too. You need to be hugged. You need to heal your childhood trauma, adulthood trauma, all kind of trauma. So, you know, he's at rest now. All of the things that hurt him here on this earth, or things that he didn't process or didn't resolve, those things were left here. That's it. You don't take those things with you. What would you say to someone who thinks they can't get over their trauma? I would tell them this: if you're not working to get over your trauma, you're not. You have to work at it. You have to want to do it. If you have put it in your mind that you can't get over your trauma, then you can't. And you're not going to be no good to nobody else. But if you want to do it, you will. That has to be something that you want to do. I didn't want to live the rest of my life angry at my mother because of what she did to me. I chose that. I could still be mad at her today for being an alcoholic and leaving me. But I chose not to hold on to that anger because I knew that that anger would mess up every relationship I had. Just being mad at her. And I didn't want to live like that. Because I look at my brothers who are still holding on to that anger of our mother being an alcoholic and abandoning us. Those abandonment issues, from parental abandonment issues, are some of the hardest things, the hardest trauma to work through. It is. You need help to really understand that the person that brought you into this world didn't love you enough to take care of you. You need some help to deal with that. And if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to heal. You're not. And if you say, oh, I ain't going to never heal from my trauma, then you're not. Because you are telling the universe, I'm not going to do nothing about this. I can't. And the universe is going to be like, oh, well, all right then. If you don't want to deal with it, neither do we. And they going to go on about their business. Ain't nobody going to force you to heal. That has to be something that you want to do. Just like drug addicts, alcoholics, whatever. Ain't nobody gonna force you to get clean. Because we can't. Your family can want with everything in their fiber for you to get clean. But if you don't want to, you're not. Just like I'm pretty sure everybody in DMX family was around his hospital bed pleading for God to let him stay. But you know what? God said no. He coming home with me. You can't force nobody to stay here when it's their time to go, and you can't force nobody to heal. You can't. Hold on, I didn't see that. Wait a minute. Let me see if it'll come back. Okay, my 13-year-old doesn't think he can get better from his depression. It's so hard to get the point across that he has so much life to live. Oh, shit. He has so much life to live, and things will be different. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. Teenagers are the hardest people in the world to reason with. It is hard to reason with a teenager. Their minds are still developing. Their brains are still developing. Their reasoning skills are still developing. To them, they feel like they know everything. And it's hard for them to understand that they don't. And as a parent, believe it or not, you are the last person that they're going to deal with. You either have to put them in therapy and let the therapist deal with their healing. You go to the ancestors and have the ancestors deal with him, because you can't reason with him. You can't. That child needs to be in therapy, because they're at they're at that point where they are resisting the parents at every turn. And it's natural, but that's just how they are, especially boys. Boys will, get to a point where they resist the mother. They will do anything in their power to resist the mother because they are at that point where, they smelling themselves, like the old folks used to say. They smelling themselves. They get into that, I'm a man. She can't tell me nothing. And a lot of teenagers now, the depression is big with in social media. You see so many kids, everything is, oh, I'm depressed. You know, that that's some type of badge that they want to carry now. Depression, is just some type of badge of honor for them. And I just think it's a stage that, they go, that these kids go through. We didn't do all that stuff when we was young. We didn't know nothing about depression. Depression? Now, I may be irritated at what's going on in my life, but no, I ain't depressed. We didn't understand all them fangled terms. Maybe we was depressed and just didn't know it. But for one thing, it I would tread lightly with my mama. It was just certain things that, I wasn't gonna say to her. If she told me the sky was blue, all right, then it's blue. The sky could be purple. But if Lucille said it's blue, because I'm not gonna argue with you. But these kids nowadays, honey, they will argue you down, cuss you out, be mad at you, and you right. You telling them right. But they still got an attitude. That's, I think, just part of the teenage psyche, which sucks. But I've been there. My kids have done the same thing. Them kids have put me through hell. I told them that's why I got all this gray hair now, from raising them boys. She said he's in therapy, thankfully, but he hates it and doesn't think it's helping. We do have a good relationship, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to think he know it all because he's a teenager. But just because he doesn't think that the therapy is helping, it does. And make sure he stays there. Make sure he stays in therapy. Because in the long run, that therapy is going to teach him, coping tools and stuff that will help him later on in life. That's where he needs to be. He needs to be able to talk to somebody other than you. Because, I really think that kids just get sick of us at a certain point. They just get sick of their parents. Just like at a certain point, I got sick of my kids. You get tired of them. Especially when you're doing everything possible to help them and they don't want to listen to you, you get sick of them. I am as sick of you as you are of me. But that's just, how things are. Like, I'm never going to come on here and tell y'all, oh, my kids were angels, everything was perfect. Growing up, I was the best mother in the world. No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I'm human, just like everybody else. I've learned lessons. I'm still learning. I think if you ever get to a point where you feel like you are above learning, it's something wrong with you. I'm still learning. I'm 56 years old. I'm still learning things about myself. I'm still learning as a mother, as a grandmother, as a wife. I'm still learning. I didn't know that y'all women was out here sticking boric acid pills up in your vajayjays. I didn't know that. Y'all be out here doing some weird stuff. I didn't know that. I'm 56 years old and I ain't never heard of that. I ain't never heard of using boric acid suppositories. Now, I would never do it, but I learned that this week that y'all be out here doing that. Y'all be sticking boric acid suppositories up in your vajayjay. You learn something new every day, y'all. Every day. I couldn't believe it. I was like, say what? What you say? I don't understand how I have had a vajayjay for 56 years and y'all come up with something new every month to do to it. And I ain't never had to do nothing to mine. And I done had two kids. Two kids come out of there. And I don't do nothing to it. It's a self-cleaning oven. It basically cleans itself. But y'all be out here putting boric acid, lavender, eucalyptus. I don't understand y'all. Y'all be putting crystals, Benoit balls, Tootsie Rolls. If y'all stick one more thing up there, oh my God, y'all making my nose run. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Y'all done put everything but the kitchen sink up in there, okay? They sell boric acid as an eye wash. What, girl? See, I ain't never heard of that. I swear to God, I've never heard of that. I have never put anything in there. Never. I just take a bath. And they never had no problems. Never. Never put anything in there. Never. I don't douche. I don't do nothing. I don't think all that stuff is necessary. I'm scared. Y'all scaring me. Y'all putting crystals and lightning rods and y'all put okay, I'm off subject for real. But I just had to say that though, because when I seen them boric acid pills, somebody was talking about them on Instagram. I was like, boric acid, the stuff that you sprinkle down to kill roaches? Yeah, herbs and crystals and no. Because somebody was selling a dildo that was made out of quartz. The one I saw was made out of rose quartz. I was like, why? Now the yoni eggs, at least I had heard of that before. I can, I can wrap my brain around that. I do understand that concept. I don't think it's necessary, but I understand it. But all this other stuff, y'all know boric acid kill roaches, right? Boric acid is in laundry detergent. And you sprinkle the powder around your house so that you don't have roaches and it kill roaches. And so you're putting that in a capsule, in a suppository. Do they add something else with it? Because I would think okay, let me get off of that because that's making me mad. That's making me angry. It's making my nose run and my eyes. Just the thought of that is making my eyes run. Y'all probably like, why is your eyes so dark? Allergies. It's allergy season. If I turn this camera, I shouldn't even be out here. If I turn this camera around and show you guys this bush that is blooming from was the bloom is almost over from my neighbor's yard, you're gonna be like, why are you even outside? And I refuse to take Zyrtec or what's that other one? The other allergy pill. Because when I take it, if I take it like in the evening or whatever, and I wake up, it just seems like there's this film over my eye, over my eyes. Like it, I don't know. It makes my vision blurry. Like something gets on top of my cornea or something. I don't know, y'all. Um, but everything is blooming right now. So, and the wind is blowing back here. I know you can hear it a little bit. So, of course, the pollen is blowing around. So, my eyes are like watering and stuff. But, it's so pretty. I got to come outside. Sometimes I can't just stay in the house and be all covered up because I got allergies. But I have really bad allergies, though. But I got my license. Y'all, when that woman told me today that she was going, all I had to do was pay $38 and take my picture, and that she was going to give me my license back, I swear to God, I almost did a backflip in that DMV. Do you hear me? I almost did the Holy Ghost shout right there in the middle of that DMV when that woman said, oh, it's only going to be $38. Yeah, look at God, honey. And then my husband, let me brag on my husband. My husband was like, "Oh, okay, babe. Well, you want to drop me off today at work, and you can keep the car." You can keep the car, girl. I ain't ready for that, though. Not yet. Because if I keep the car, then I got to get up at 11:30 at night and go pick him up from work, and I ain't doing all that, child. He'd be sitting there trying to figure out a way to get home, waiting on me. But no, but we do have to call the insurance people and add me on as a driver. But honey, he was like, you can keep the car. You could just drop me off at work. And the good thing is my husband only works about 10 minutes away from here. 10 minutes away from home, I guess. It's not far at all. And I know how to get back home from his job. So I know how to get back. Um, but I'm just not quite ready to uh, drive around by myself. Did he poop? Gizmo, Gizmo, Gizmo. Did you poop? It looked like it. His butt looked dusty. So I said, let me come in and we lift up um, DMX. Is his name Earl? His name is Earl Simmons, right? Because we do want to call him by his birth name. If you want to light a candle for him on tonight, make sure you call him by his birth name. Don't call him by his stage name. Use his real name if you decide to, light a candle for him to honor him. Just make sure you call him by his real name, the name he was given at birth, Earl Simmons, not by DMX. Even though I'm pretty sure the creator knows, okay, here come DMX, but call him by the name that he was given by his parents, which I'm pretty sure is Earl Simmons. Anytime you honor someone who has passed away, you call them by the name that they were given at birth. Okay? So if you want to light a candle for him tonight and sit out a glass of cool water, just make sure that you call him by his birth name. That is important. When we lose an ancestor, you know, we don't. If they called her Pookie while she was here on Earth, you don't honor her by saying Pookie. You honor her by saying her name, her real name. You can say Pookie after you said whatever her real name is. Like if when I honor my mother, I say Lucille Williams because Lucille Williams is her name. We called her Momo, but on the altar she is Lucille Williams. So make sure that if you want to do that, make sure that you honor him by calling him by his real name. And if you want to light a white candle, that's fine. If you knew what his favorite drink was, that's fine. Even though a person, may have drank a little bit too much while they was here on earth, it's still fine to give them a beer. My mama liked, my biological mother liked her wild Irish rose. If I find it every now and then, I may, give her a glass. You don't just take away everything that they liked here on earth. If you know they like cigarettes, it's fine to put a cigarette on the altar for them. Give them the things that they liked. You know, you don't take away everything that they liked, even though those things could have contributed to their death. They still loved it. So, it's something um, that they enjoyed. So, I know when I leave here, I'm going to leave very strict instructions that I want my jelly beans and they have to come from Walgreens. And my granddaughter, she knows specifically which ones I like. So you set my altar up, you make sure I had them jelly beans from Walgreens. It's the generic ones. I like those actually better than the Jelly Bellies. Certain things that I like my Mountain Dew. Everybody in the family know she liked her crazy sodas, so y'all gonna give me my sodas. My mama liked them Bugles chips. So in them church mints, So when I used to have my altar, I used to always keep them church mints up there for her. And every now and then I would, get her a pack of Bugles and put those in a nice little plate and put those on the altar for her because I know that she loved those. My dad loved Coca-Cola, so I would get him some Coke and some pig feet. Every now and then I'd go get some pig feet. I can't stand them, but some pickled pig feet, I would get them for my dad. So you give people what they enjoyed while they were here. Oh yeah, girl, my mama liked them lifesavers too. Old people always got some lifesavers, some them church mints, the little red and white ones. I call them church mints, but they're peppermints. But I always call them church mints. They would keep them peppermints in their purse. Gum. My mother loved her gum. So yeah, you give your ancestors what they enjoy. If they like cigarettes, give them a cigarette every now and then. Tobacco, yeah, chewing tobacco. Get them some tobacco. Get them some rum. A little bit of alcohol ain't gonna hurt nobody. You know. Um, that's all I got. You know, we hate that these things happen, but it is part of life. Death is a part of life. We don't come here to stay forever. Okay, our souls are not anchored to this side of earth. We only supposed to be here for a little while. And when our souls can't take it no more, we go back to the Creator. So he went back home. He had had enough. And he went back home. And that's how we have to start looking at things. You know, we have to be happy when people transition. That's why our ancestors celebrated death. They didn't mourn death, they celebrated. They were happy that that person went home because they knew that it was so much going on here. A lot of people are not happy. They're not happy here. You know, our souls want to come here and experience this, but after a while, we be like, you know what, this ain't what I thought it was. I'm tired of this. I want to go back home because this ain't home for us. This, this is just a shell. This is what holds our soul. This is just a shell. And after a while, our souls get tired of carrying this around. This is just too much. I gotta get out of this body. Your body is getting on my nerves. I'm ready to go back to source. And we should be happy when someone transitions. Get away from this. Carrying this too. Can you imagine our soul out here carrying 240 pounds? Our soul was like, oh my God, this girl is heavy. I gotta go. She eating all this stuff. I don't like half this stuff she be eating. Somebody tell her to stop eating all that mess. That's what I be. Me and my soul and brain be fighting over food choices every day. Yesterday I had some fish. I'm trying my best to just be a pescatarian. You know, because I think my body is just really getting tired of meat. Even though every now and then I just really be wanting a good steak. I don't know why I've gotten on that steak kick. I don't like anything else, any other kind of meat. But every now and then I just be wanting a nice steak and a baked potato. I don't have to have nothing else. I just be wanting the meat and a baked potato. So, Gizmo, you want him to say goodbye? Oh, he did poop. I see it now. God, he just pooped on the ground. Like, I ain't going over there on that grass. Gizmo would just poop anywhere. Gizmo, come here, Poochie. Poochie, come here. Good boy. Come here. Come say goodbye. Come here. Come on. Yeah, I see you pooped. I don't care. Come here. Is that a bug on here? No, that was a rock. I saw you pooped. I don't care. I'll get it. Say goodbye to everybody. They always ask about you. It's time for another bath. I smell you. I smell you, Poochie. There's a little dog outside next door. He looked back like, I pooped on the ground. Am I in trouble? Because he usually poop over there in the grass. No, you're not in trouble, boy. Let me see what y'all saying. I'm glad you touched on this because I didn't feel right putting certain things which may have hurt my mother. Wait a minute. I feel better now. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you feel better. Yeah. Put if those were things that she enjoyed, put them on there. Give her what she liked. If she, you don't have to give her a whole pack of cigarettes, but if she like Newports, give her a Newport. Give her one. Every now and then on her birthday or, something like that, the anniversary of her death, go and give her a Newport, child. Give her a glass of wine. If she liked her wine, give her a glass. If it's a celebration and y'all having a glass of wine, give her a glass of wine. Give it to her. My mother that raised me, she didn't drink. Um, but my biological mother, yeah, she had a problem with alcohol. I still every now and then give her a glass of wine because I know that was her thing. Give her some beer, give her cigarettes. If she smoked, I give her a cigarette. My dad smoked. Yeah, you give them what they enjoyed while they were here. That at least lets them know that you're thinking about them. You still care. They paid attention to certain things while I was here. Even though I fussed at my mother, when she was alive, I didn't want to purchase. It was very rare that I would purchase alcohol for her because I didn't want her to drink because I knew that, it was affecting her health and stuff. But every now and then I would just be like, you know what? I don't feel like fighting with you. What do you want? And I would get it for her. But yeah, every now and then I will give her a glass of wine or I will give her, you know, um, a cigarette or whatever. I'm gonna leave a whole list of stuff that I'm gonna want on my altar, and I'm gonna tell my kids if you don't put it on there, I'm gonna come see you. They ain't gonna want to see me, so they gonna do it. If you don't want to see me in your dreams, you better leave me them jelly beans, okay? And every now and then, you better come through with that Mountain Dew, or I'm gonna be coming in your dreams. I'm gonna be sitting on the edge of your bed singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall every night. So you better do what I ask you. And they know that I am just petty enough to leave here and come back and sit on the edge of their bed and sing 99 bottles of beer on the wall until 5 o'clock in the morning. You got to get up and go to work. So you better, you better leave me them jelly beans, okay? Or that Mountain Dew. You better at least bring me one Starbucks a month. Or it's gonna be 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. If one of those bottles should happen to fall, 98 bottles of beer on the wall. Oh my God. Me and my friends in the summertime used to sing that song on the porch when we were like little kids and just all the way to one. I know we used to drive our neighbors crazy because we would sing that all the time. So yeah, my kids gonna know. Ooh, my hair dry now. It was like a little damp when I first came out here. I'm finna go because I'm rambling now. So I'm still. I have a Shein haul that I need to do. But do you know how difficult it is to like put on 5 different outfits and take pictures and stuff? I'm lazy. I don't feel like doing all that. But I want to show y'all the clothes that I got that I didn't get a chance to wear on Easter because I bought my Easter dress from Shein and I didn't get a chance to wear it because it was too chilly on Easter to um, put it on. I'm gonna go. I love you guys and I will talk to you later. Okay? I love